Hello. In this video, we'll review some basic tasks every Excel beginner should know. I'll open my Excel file and we'll go through some of the tasks that we have in here. So the instruction says this workbook contains hands-on exercises and assignments for your Excel class. Complete tasks directly in this file. Do not delete sheets unless instructed. Save your work regularly. File name format should be this. Your trainer will review. Let's go. So let's move to the basic interface tab. And here, well, one of the first things we should do is to try and open up every column that we have. So can you see that the first column A is sort of hidden? So to open every column, what you do is move your cursor to the top of the sheet. And once it turns into a cross, you double click there and that would expand that column for you. Another way is to click on this button, which is a Command All, and then you can double click. Once you double click anywhere, it's going to expand everything. But there are situations where you don't want your column to be too wide. You can resize it. Then what you can do is highlight that column and click on wrap text. That way it will wrap all this extra text into this column. So let's do that. So once you do that, then you also notice that some of your text in each cell might not be properly positioned. So if you want them to be aligned properly the way you want them, what you can also do is select all the columns, all the cells, then come to this alignment. Then you can first of all align everything to the top. So to align to the top of each cell, there you go. And if you also want to align to the left or to the right, you can do so accordingly. But we'll leave it as align to the left. Okay. Now that we can properly see our questions, the next thing we'll do is start answering the questions. So the first task says, place your cursor on the column letters in between. Okay, this is for if you want to expand the columns, which is what we have already done. So the second question is rows and columns. Identify row 5. So this is row 5 and column D. This is column D. So you can confirm this by looking at the name box, which tells us this is D5. And it says enter any value in cell D5. I'm going to enter a name, which is John. And that's the answer for that. So cells, type your name in cell A12. Where's A12? Okay, another way is to just type it in here, A12. Then the cursor will go there. So we are at A12 now. So it asked me to type my name. So I'll type my name. Okay, that's my Nigerian name, Babatunde. Okay, so well, the next task is workbook versus worksheet. Rename this sheet to Excel Basics. So this is a sheet, this is a worksheet, and everything combined together is a workbook. Like we all know, we have lots of sheets inside a book. So it says rename this sheet to Excel Basics. So to rename a sheet, what you do is you go to the tab, you double click on it, then you type in what you want to rename it as. Another way is to right click on it. If you right click on it, then you click on rename to rename it. So it says name it as Excel Basics. Excel Basics. Okay, then you click on enter. So it saves it. Can you see that is done? Then sheet tabs, create a new worksheet and name it practice 1. So to create a new worksheet, you click this plus button here. This creates a new worksheet for you. Now to rename this, I'll double click on it and it says name it practice 1. Practice 1. I'll click on enter to save it and that is it. Then I'll go back to the tab I was in before. So it now says hide practice 1 and then unhide it. To hide a tab, what you need to do is right click on it, Then you can look for hide. So this is hide. You click on this button to hide it. Okay, can you see it's hidden? The way to know if you have hidden tabs is to right click on the bottom right here. Then you can see all the tabs that are there. Okay, now because it is hidden, we can't see it. So to know if a tab is hidden or not, right click on any of the tabs. Once you see this on hide that is not grayed out, it means something is hidden. So to unhide it, you just click on this. Then it asks you, do you want to unhide this sheet? Practice one. Yes, click OK to unhide it. So we can see it back here again. Okay. So we're done with this first tab. We'll move on to the second tab, which is the navigation. Okay. So here, like the previous step, we'll reformat the columns, make sure they are showing us the content of the column so we can understand the questions. You can resize this. Then you can use word wrap if necessary. Wrap text. Yeah, so let's start with the first one, keyboard navigation. Use arrow keys to move to cell F10 and type 100. So I can first of all come to column F, then I'll scroll down till I get to F10. This is F10, says type 100. I'll type 100 in here. Perfect. I'll go to the next question that says select range J4 to L11 using the mouse and fill the color of the cells yellow. I believe here we are supposed to highlight this data. So let's highlight this data. So if we select all of this, then it says fill the color of the cells yellow. So if you come here to the top here for the font group, expand this, then pick on yellow color to color that yellow. Okay, now enter any 5 product names in column A and prices in column B. Okay, so let's look for that. Let's do that. So it says enter 5 product names. So let's type, let's say biscuit. Biscuit is £2. Bread, £4. Um, ice cream, £6. Then we can also buy, what other food can we buy? Let's buy let's buy spaghetti. That's, let's say 99p. Then we can also type in another food, or let's say chicken, 1 kg. That's £4. Okay. All right, so we've done that. So it says the next step says autofill. Okay, let's format this to align the text to the top. So the next question says autofill. Use autofill to fill numbers 1 to 10 in column Q. Okay, select 1 and 2 and drag the autofill down to 10. So what autofill does is it helps us to automatically add numbers. And once the number has a sequence, Excel will pick up on that sequence and use that in the autofill. In this scenario, we are having numbers going in increments of 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So once we have the first 2 numbers highlighted, we can now use the autofill button by dragging the box all the way down. Then when you see 10 appearing beside it, you know you have gotten to 10. So can we see this is autofill? We can format it to be top aligned so that they're all aligned to the top. Perfect. Okay, now the next question says delete the text in cell B16. Okay, this is B16. We should delete the cell, the text in B16, then undo, then redo to delete it. So this is it. I'll delete it. Just press the delete button. Then the test here is for us to know how to undo, which is this. So you undo with this button, so it brings it back. And then it says redo it so that it's now gone permanently. So this is, it's been gone now. Okay. All right. So next question is how to create tables. So it says place your cursor in the table to the left, that's to the right, press Ctrl T and confirm the range and press OK. So now we have this table. Let's remove this color so that we can see the table properly. So I'll highlight the table. Then I'll remove the color by saying no fill. Now we can see the data. So I'll quickly format this table. I'll format this data by aligning the text to the top and making it center for each header. So can we see that now? Okay, so to make a set of data or a set of cells into a table, what we do is you press Ctrl T. So I've highlighted the data. That's the range. This is the range of the data. So you now press Ctrl T. If you press Ctrl T, it turns that data set into a table. So it asks you, there's a prompt that will come up to tell you of the range, that is this where your data is and this is for the table. If it is accurate, you also say my table has a header, then you click on OK. Then it turns your data into a table. Can we see that? So a way to know if your data is a table is to click on it. Then if you observe this design at the top and you see the table name on this section, then you have a table. Otherwise, a group of data like this might not necessarily be a formatted table. But because Excel works in a structured format, you feel it's a table because it's structured. It's in columns and rows. Okay? So now we've made the table. All right, the next question says move with keyboard. Place your cursor in the table and hold Control, then use the arrows to navigate. So now that we've made this into a table, there's a logical boundary that Excel creates. So if I put my cursor here and I click on the button Control, then I use the arrow buttons and I click left, it will take me to the end on the left side. So from that position, if I click on down, it will take me to the bottom. So it takes me round to the edges of the table by just clicking the left, right, up and down button. Can you see? That's one of the reasons why it is good you turn your data into a table, especially when you have a lot of rows. Imagine if we have 15,000 rows and you want to navigate around them. So that is one way you can navigate. Good. So let's quickly go to the next tab, which is formatting. So we have a few tasks here. Let us also expand these columns. So once you highlight the two columns, double click on one of the edges, then it will expand the column for you. So the first task is font formatting. Says bold and italicize the header row. So this is the header row. You highlight it, then you click on bold, then you click on italics. So that is that done. This is a little bit skewed, so we'll expand it a little bit. All right, so color cells, apply a fill color to cells A2 to A6. So this is A2, and where is A6? This is A6. All right, that's A2 to A6. So it says we should give it a fill color. So I'll just give it a color, maybe this slight shade of yellow-green. So the next question says borders. Apply borders to range A1 to C6. So to get that range, you start from the A1 column, then you go to C, column C, then you are going down to 6. So we go down to 6. All right, that's just where the data is. So it says apply borders to range A1 to C6. So to apply a border, you click on this and then you say all borders. Okay, there you go. So the next question is format prices as currency. So one task you'll be doing a lot of in Excel as a data analyst is you'll be formatting columns. So now we have this column. To format a column, you go to the column name, which is the C box. Then you right click on this. Then there's a pop-up box that comes up. So scroll down till you see format cells. Click on format cells. Then you select the format you want for that column. So the question says format as currency. So I'll click currency, and then I'm in the UK, so I make the symbol pound sterling. Then decimal places is 2, which is standard for currency. Then I click OK, and then that format is as a currency. Okay. Now, another question is wrap text in any cell with long text. If we look at this, it looks like it's been wrapped already. So to wrap, this is long. Yeah, this one is still long. So to wrap a text, what we do is highlight the column, then click on wrap text at the top. This automatically wraps the text. If it was wrapped before, it will unwrap it, which is what happened now. But if you click it again, then it's going to wrap it properly. Can you see now that all the text inside has been wrapped, and then you can read everything even within the short space it was in. All right. Thank you. We've done this. We finished this tab. So we go to the next tab, which is calculations. So calculations, these are the questions we have. We have 4 questions and a very small data set. It says calculate total sales using sum. So this is going to test our ability to use functions and formulas. So we are going to type a formula and we are going to use the function sum. So it says answers should be in this column. So what we want to find is the sum of the sales, and these are the sales values. So to initiate that, there's a little bit of help here to understand the formula. So we go ahead and type in the formula, the answers here. So whenever you're writing a formula, you start with equal to sign. So you have the equal to, then the function we are using is the sum function. Once you start typing, it gives you option, and once you've seen the one you want, you can go up or down with your arrow buttons. If you are on the one you want, press the tab button to bring it into your formula bar. As you can see also from the formula bar, it has started typing it in. So the next thing we want to do now is we want to select the range that we want to sum. And in this scenario, we are summing just these 3 columns. So we'll just drag it. And as you can see in the formula bar, it has entered the cells, which is cell B4 to B6. So once that is done, you close your bracket, then you click on enter, and then it gives you the sum. All right. So the next one is average. So there's a function called average. So we put our cursor on the next line where we want to find the average in. So you double click till you have your cursor ready to type. So you press the equal to sign to get started. And the function required for this is called average. So you start typing average. So it gives you some options. What we want is this second one. So I'll click on tab, it will bring it in. Then what am I finding average for? I'm finding the average of all these amounts, these values. So I put that in and it brings it in. I close the bracket, press enter, and then it gives me the average. So when you want to find the max, you need a function called max. So put your cursor in the cell where you want to work on, type the equal to button, then you start typing the max. So the max function is what we are going to use. So I'll press the tab button and that will bring in the function into that cell. Then the next thing is I'll select the range that I want to find the maximum value of. So this is the range. So I'll just select this. And once that is selected, I can immediately press enter or close the bracket, then press enter. Then it tells me that the maximum is 1,500. For these data sets, we can actually determine that just by looking at it because the values are very few. However, if you have a table where your data is going to thousands of rows, then you cannot visually identify the maximum. All right, the next one is minimum. So you put your cursor where you want to insert your value into. So you start typing equal to, that's the standard way to start typing your formulas. So what we want to find here is the minimum. So you start typing minimum. Then the function is min. So you press the tab button and it brings that in. You select the number range. So there's an IntelliSense suggesting what values you need to enter. So what we are entering now are these numbers, which is B4 to B6. Okay, once you have that, click on enter. If there's nothing else to add, then it tells you that 1100 is the smallest value. All right. So it also says calculate March and February sales. Yeah, so it also says calculate March and February sales. But as we can see, the data is we have just one sale in January and February, so we can't really answer this question. So let's go to the next tab. So the next tab, let me delete this. The next tab says sort sales data from highest to lowest. So now we have this data. This region column is squashed. So we will try and expand it. Let's expand all these cells, all the columns. So click on this, all tabs, all cells, double click on this, then it expands. Double click on one of the column dividers. Just drag it. Okay, then align everything to the top. Then you have your cleaner data. All right. So the first question says sort sales data from highest to lowest. So if you want to sort a group of data like this, it's better to just highlight everything. Then you go to this editing section, click on this sort and filter, then click on custom sort. So custom sort is going to ask you, does your data have an header? You say, yes, my data has a header. You click on this. Then what column are you sorting by? You click here, we are sorting by sales. Then how are you sorting? Are you sorting smallest to largest? We are sorting largest to smallest. Then you click on OK. Then it's going to sort your data. So the next one says filter data to show values above 1200. So when you want to filter data, you have to select the headers, then activate the filtering. So once you activate the filtering, then you can click on where you want to filter from. You click on this, then it gives you option. So what we do now is we can filter where a value is greater than 1200. You click on OK. So as we can see, it has filtered this table and we have just values that are greater than 200. So let us remove that so that we can see our other questions. So that's how you filter. So it's either you just filter by selecting or you filter with the text. So here we'll just clear off all the filters that we have from that column. Okay, so the next one is charts. Create a column chart from the sales data. So if you want to create a chart, what you need to do is to highlight the dimension and the values that you want to have on your chart. So let's build a chart based on the products and the sales. So you highlight the products column or select the products you want to use, then select the prices. Then you go to the top to the ribbon, you click on Insert, then you pick the chart that you want to use. So let's pick this column chart. We'll pick the first one, and then it gives us our chart. So this is our chart. All right. So the next question says freeze the header row. So if you want to freeze the header row, what you do is you go to the view tab. So once you're in the view tab, right about the middle, you can see the freeze pane. So you click on the freeze panes. Then it asks you, which pane do you want to freeze? You say freeze top row. Then you click on that. Then let's see if it has activated that. If you're scrolling, can you see that the first row is frozen? So you can always see what is there. So that's how you freeze your top rows, okay? So now the next question is create a drop-down list, which is like a validation. If we expand this, we'll see. So data validation, create a drop-down list with yes, no options. All right, so what you do is highlight the section where you want to have that data validation. Then you go to the data tab, remember data tab. Then you look for validation, data validation. This is data validation here. So you click on this, then you select data validation. Then now, what are the values you want to allow in this, in the data validation that you are building? So when you click here, you can then select a list so that you can specify the values you want to have in that, your data validation. So that then you now select the source and type in the values you want. So here we are just going to pick either yes or no in capital letter, separate it with a comma, then you click on OK. So once you click on OK, it's going to create a data validation for that column, for the rows there. So click on OK. Then can you notice there's a small drop-down arrow beside the cell? So that means your data validation was successful. So you can go in there and select what you want. One of the reasons why you do this is because you want certain specific responses for those cells. You don't want anybody making a mistake in entering them. So that's one use case for data validation. All right. So thank you very much. This is a very short video, and I hope you've learned something from it.